Whatever the world throws at you, take it on.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Be unstoppable. The all-new 2015 Ford Edge.
And good evening, everyone, from Legends Country Club in Stephenville, Texas. We'll be here for the next hour breaking down Tarleton's game against Texas A&M Commerce. We'll preview this weekend's road battle in an always tough place to play, Texas A&M Kingsville. And, of course, we'll catch you up on all things related to Tarleton Texas football. We'll also hear from head tennis coach Lance Drake later in the show, and cross-country senior from Bruceville, Eddie, the reigning Lone Star Conference Runner of the Week, Ty Doty. So a lot coming up in the next hour. And, Coach, it's ironic we hear that opening clip in the opener, and Zed Warner throws it to Bubba Tandy, and you had to play a tough Commerce team without both those guys.
Yeah, you know, it's been tough. You know, like we was talking, I'll never make an excuse on anything, because in college football and pro football, Pop Warner football, it's always the next man up. And you know, you got Zed, and then you know, we knew going into the game, he didn't practice last week at all. You know, and then, you know, Bubba's been out, and, you know, when you got 24 guys that are supposed to be playing for you that are on the injured list, that makes it tough. And you know, and that's where we're missing some of the key components. You know, we took 18 transfers this past year that should be on our roster, and 14 of them aren't playing for us right now. And that's the difference you're seeing against Midwestern. You know, you can develop so many kids, but this level you got to have difference makers that come in the transfers. And our guys have been banged up, you know, and 14 of the 18, you know, are out right now. And our young players are having to jump up and start to play. And, you know, on that end, I've seen a lot of improvements. But, you know, you play 19 freshmen and 12 sophomores, and that's about to, like, playing the majority of the game, 19 freshmen, 12 sophomores. You know, when you counter that with, you know, with the youthfulness and the mistakes they're going to make, and then we gave up so much size the other night. I mean, you can just tell the difference, and you know, away, and then you turn back, and I got my big guys standing over here in street coverage, you know, and that's. But the young kids are playing hard, they're playing their guts out, and we're just missing some key components there, and you know, hopefully we'll start to get some guys back. I don't see it happening, you know, for the next week or two though.
Let's talk about how that game started, because Zed Warner went out there and just giving, I guess, the shoulder a test.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he went out there. We didn't know. He didn't know. You know, he threw a little bit in warm-ups and tried to keep him warm. Matter of fact, Coach Holbrook probably threw more than he did. He was just trying to get that thing loose. He hadn't thrown a ball until Saturday warm-ups. He hadn't thrown a ball since the game at Midwestern. So, you know, it was just one of those deals to see if he can go, and he wasn't able to. And then it comes down to, you know what, you know, one of those guys has got to be able to step up and be able to deliver the football for us.
Yeah, let's talk about those backup quarterbacks. Alex Craig, 5 of 13, 58 yards, 2 picks. Derek Kaiser came in, 6 of 13, a pick, 28 yards through the year. Haven't we been spoiled around here with backup quarterbacks? You think about Jake Finsky and then Zed, assess their performance.
You know, it just, you know, and you know, it just, you got to step up and play. You know, I felt like Alex came in and it was like he was preparing to play linebacker. You know, we just got so excited, almost hyperventilated. And when your quarterback goes nuts, so does the rest of your team. You know, and he's got to learn to calm down. And he was excited about the opportunity, one, and he knew that going in. He took every rep, you know, all the reps of the ones all week. And then Derek came in, and Derek got banged up a little bit. So, you know, it really came back to Alex. And you know, Alex has been in the system for a while. You know, he's been here, but he didn't play a year ago because he had an illness that set him out of football for a year. But he's going to be fine. I mean, Alex is a great player. You know, he wasn't offered by every school in this league because he wasn't a good player. He's a great player. He's a wonderful human being. Played for a great program at Dallas Christian, took them to state championship game. So he'll calm down. He's going to start to be better. He understands that. We just got to get him not to, you know, put the pressure on him. Just go out and execute the offense, and he'll be fine. But you know, in that situation, we weren't calm, cool, and collective, and that affected us.
How big was that muff punt after you got that huge stop and the sack of Texas A&M Commerce? Looks like you had the momentum.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and then we come down. You know, I felt like the first play they hit us on a long run, we get misfit again. You know, they were cutting us off on the backside. Really, they just kind of covered us up, Casey, and the back came back. But we get in, we get them to 3rd down and 8, and we blow a coverage. And, you know, it should have been an interception. And now we finally go out and we get a stop because they played, you know, stopping the run down in the red zone. They were playing, we had a chance. We're going to get them stopped. And we're excited. You know, right now, let's go. You know, I told you, we're starting to fit. Things are starting to go. And then we go out and and we get the muff punt, and that's where you miss bubble 10. I think I probably just put 11 up there and rush, and I return because that's 2 weeks in a row now. We've got that we got to get we got to be able to get that ball caught. The next returner is Glenn Robertson. Glenn played a little bit, but Glenn's been banged up since the first week of camp. He hasn't practiced, but this past week and a little bit last week. So hopefully we can get him rolled up because he's light in the bottom, get him to catch the punts and be able to get. But that was crucial. Deep in the end zone. And then they converted right off the bat on us, and if any doubt was seeping in, now you're trying. I didn't sense our kids to get doubt, I was watching film, and I told the coaches yesterday. I said I wish I could say that our kids didn't play hard, so I could go motivate them to play hard. We didn't. Sometimes we got whipped. We gave up some size in some areas. And we had some guys that played well. When we did the things that we were supposed to do, I felt like we executed in both areas. But the kids played hard to the very, very end, and I wanted to see them not play hard. So that's where it's going to be. So we're going to regroup. They were in there. We stayed in the locker room together till probably 11 o'clock. 11. They didn't want to leave. That's why I didn't come to the show. It was my men. They're not bickering and fighting in the locker room. They're not upset. I needed to sit down and talk to every one of those kids. I look back, Coach Cole was in there. Every coach we had, they were hugging those kids. Those kids were emotional. They were crying. It hurts them. But they're 18, 19-year-old kids and playing 19 freshmen and 12. I'm proud of them. I'm standing up on the table, and I'll tell you exactly. I'm proud of them because they fought and they never gave up. We had the less amount of loss in this game than we had at any point that I've been the head coach, and it meant something to them, and it hurt them to lose like that. They're going to bounce back. I don't know when it's going to be. Hopefully, it can't be too many more weeks. But we're going to keep fighting with them. But I'm proud to be their coach because if you watch it and you say you can walk away and say they're terrible, well, we're not. We're not playing very well right now. We can't do everything that we want to do offense, everything you practice in 2 days. When you have injuries, you have to go back to day one installation. Everything you practice defensively, when you have injuries, you're bringing guys up from the scout team to practice. You got to play and dress in the game. You got to go back to day one installation, get those kids prepared. But they went out and they played as hard as they possibly could. They never gave up. And see, that's a sign of a team that will grow in time is because they never gave up. And if anybody wants to see the tape, come out of my office because I'll show you that this football team never gave up, and I've never seen a team to get beat that bad and that be that lopsided win, that their effort in the end was still a phenomenal effort, and that makes the coach very, very proud.
A couple individual performances, just wanted to mention Chase Varnado had a pretty good night, Coach. 8 tackles, a sack, 3 of those 8 tackles for a loss. Again, he continues to be a bright spot for the team.
I don't know if there's a better football player around him, and again, that's who you stand up, and every coach around knows that, if I can get the rest of the, they played hard, but Varnado is so smart, he can play a lot of position. He plays, he's fun to watch. The kids watch him. It's like, just, if you play like that child, I mean, he's unbelievable to watch play. And we got him for the rest of this year and 2 more. I mean, he's going to be one of the most dominant defensive players in this, that we've had. And we'll mess with him a little bit because he's on that outside end. I'm not going to make no bones about it because he'll fly around. I'm going to put him at some linebacker this week and get him in the middle of formation so that they're not running the football away from him. If we're able to do that, we wanted to do that a year ago. We've had injuries at defensive end, and we're able to do that. But we're going to have to get him up and get him more active in the middle of the football field and let him take over where the ball's hitting there on the front side because they're getting us with, we're undersized at linebacker right now.
After the loss as disappointing as this one, how excited how eager are the guys to get back out on the field Saturday?
They're willing to learn. I did something different this morning than I had them come in and watch the film and grade their effort, Casey, and grade their performance and grade their. And it's really when you grade it and you make mistakes. It's we're teachers. We're not coaches. We're teachers. We'll take them. And now we can see the questions that they have because if they can't answer where they made a mistake on that area, then we're able to teach them. I had every kid bring in the stacks of preparation sheets and just individual stuff, and I put them in the board. And you'd be surprised. I mean, Cody Bircher and Cody Heskey brought in notes of every night that they would watch film. It was every kid they prepared. There's a couple kids that didn't, and I made a decision not to play a few of those kids too. But those kids prepared, and but now we got to get those questions answered. Because they're seeing what they need to see. They got the questions, and I think they're eager. I just think they're more eager right now to practice in the morning because they want to. They want to get better. It'd been easy to get like I'd say, those kids gave up and they scored those late. They didn't. We turned the ball over 5 times, and we gave up big plays and we didn't tackle very well. I thought our DBs got better, but we got to get better at tackling. We came in, we're trying to bite ankles instead of hit people with the screws of the helmet. And we've got to be that's why those big long runs happen is our backside, our DBs. They're coming in and cutting, and they got to hit up high, especially with those size backs.
With the 63 loss, Tarleton State falls to 0-4. Texas A&M Commerce improves to 4-1. We'll take our first break here on the Coach Cary Fowler Radio Show. When we return in 1 minute, we'll go around the Lone Star Conference in the nation when Tarleton Texan football continues right after this. And welcome back to the Coach Cary Fowler Radio Show from Legends Country Club in Stephenville. We're here each Monday night from 6 to 7. Thanks to everyone for being here tonight. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Time now for our Lone Star Conference and National Spotlight. We'll start, Coach, by going around the Lone Star Conference in Week 5. There were 3 games around the conference. West Texas A&M at the bye week. The first game was a 4 o'clock kickoff in Portales, New Mexico, which that's actually incorrect. They didn't play in Portales. They played in Blackwater Draw. And we know the draw. And the funny thing about the draw, you always told me, is there's a masked man that kind of hangs out there.
He rides that horse.
Rides that horse.
Yeah.
And, you see him off in the distance, and there's spaceships and aliens and all kinds of weird things. Cool place, though. And Eastern New Mexico actually playing their last ever homecoming game at that facility, that historic facility. And true to script, it was a weird game, Coach. It was a 56-31 Eastern win. 2 weather delays.
Yeah.
What does that do to a football team when you're sitting down there for 2 one-hour weather delays?
Well, I know what it would do if you were in the locker room. It's Eastern. You can't get your whole football team in there. So I don't know where you'd have to go to the bus or something. I mean, that's
not a great place to be in a lightning season.
Not for 2 hours. Not for 30 minutes. Much less 2 hours.
We'll talk about that game later in the show as Tarleton will face Texas A&M Kingsville this weekend down in South Texas. Really the game of the week in the conference, Coach. A 7 o'clock matchup in San Angelo between the number 20, then number 20 ranked 4-0 Midwestern State Mustangs, another 4-0 team, the number 6 ranked Angelo State Rams. And that was a game that Midwestern won 29-20. I know it didn't shock you. A lot of folks thought Angelo was the clear favorite in that one, and turnovers were the biggest factor.
Yeah, it was. Midwestern scored twice defensively. And that's they're playing solid defense, and they're able to take the ball. And I noticed their quarterback Hagen, he got banged up, and they brought the back a bit. And he was still able to pull out the win there.
Yeah, not too many people are going to hold Kyle Washington in that offense to 20 points. I believe he threw at least 2 picks.
If you can get the turnovers, a year ago we were able to get 4 turnovers against them, and we lost the game 27-24. But that's the only way that you're going to be able to stop them is be able to force those turnovers with them.
So there were 3 games around the conference. Let's take a look at the updating standings of the Lone Star Conference. Midwestern State tied with Texas A&M Commerce for first place in the conference at 3-0. Midwestern, actually the only undefeated team remaining at 5-0. Coach, they were picked to finish 3rd in the conference, and they're now 5-0. So preseason polls pretty worthless.
There's never been I can't remember the last time that the favorite won the conference.
And you almost don't want to be the favorite in that.
He's third.
So Midwestern's 5-0, 3-0. You got Commerce tied at 3-0 and 4-1 overall. Angelo State, West Texas A&M are tied for 3rd. The Rams are 4-1 overall, 1-1 in the conference. West Texas A&M 2-2 overall after the bye week. Eastern New Mexico 5th place in the conference, 3-2 overall, 1 win and 2 losses. In the Lone Star, you've got Texas A&M Kingsville in 6th place at 0-2 and 1-4. You got Tarleton State at 0-3 and 0-4, and we'll preview that game later between Kingsville and Tarleton State. Coach, the new AFCA Top 25 poll came out today. We'll just go over that briefly. You vote on this committee. You've got Midwestern State at 12, Texas A&M Commerce at 15. Midwestern was 20. They move up 8 spots after defeating number 6 Angelo State. And Angelo, after the loss, moves from 6 to 16. Commerce, after defeating Tarleton, moved from 18 to 15. So you got 3 Lone Star Conference teams between number 12 and number 16. Just goes to show the parity in this league.
Yeah, and I thought Midwestern should be ranked higher. You know, they beat Mesa. What was Mesa? They were in the top 25. You know, they were right on the edge.
Right on the edge, yeah.
They beat Mesa, and then to go beat the number 16 and they beat Eastern. I mean, they beat some good football teams, you know. But you know, you just sit there and ride, you know, see how it all goes out, because they all got to play each other and then turn around and do it again.
Just a few notes on folks that are receiving votes. Finley still receiving votes. West Texas A&M received 3 votes, and Finley actually was playing the number 2 ranked team. And I know you texted me earlier in the day because they played like an 11 or noon game, and they were up 28 to 14 at half over number 2.
And they missed 2 field goals, had a chance to win it. You know, and that's why you see the votes. I thought they'd be voted higher than that. They lost on the last second play to the number 16 Ashland, and takes the number number 2 team and led them and they missed a field goal and got beat by a field goal. You know,
surprised they only have 1 vote.
Yeah, I mean, you take the number 2 team and you let them, and you missed the field goal before half, and you missed the field goal to tie at the end. That tells you, how good Finley, what a good football team they got.
So Finley receives a vote. West Texas A&M receives 3 votes. Florida Tech in the poll gets some votes this year.
Beat Delta State.
Did they really?
Yep, beat them back. Yep, 40-something. I mean, they got after it.
Yeah, Florida Tech, defeated Delta State. Sure did. Delta State moved from 5th to 17th in the nation after that loss. So that's a look at the American Football Coaches Association top 25 poll. Let's take a look at week number 6 in the Lone Star Conference. We've got 4 games on Saturday. Starts with a 2 o'clock game in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I don't even know where that is. I know Merle Haggard wrote a song about it, but I guess Eastern New Mexico and Jocelyn are pretty happy about going to Bacone.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I would be happy to go to Bacone. Yeah. I'm going to do that. We play this afternoon.
Bacone 1-4 overall. They're a member of the NAI, so Eastern New Mexico will be heavy favorites in that 2 o'clock tilt. You got 3 7 o'clock games. You have West Texas A&M after a bye week at 2-2 overall. They will travel to Wichita Falls to take on number 12 and 5-0 Midwestern State. Coach, you have played both of these teams. Would you give the edge to Midwestern?
Yeah, it depends on if the quarterback's playing. Either way, both quarterbacks. But it depends on the backfield. Dante Taylor didn't play very much the other night either. He still has a lagging injury. I talked to a couple of those guys earlier. That he still gets some nagging injuries. If he's healthy and he can go like he was running the other night against us, then they've got a chance. If he's not going, then in West Texas, because there's 2 great backs playing in that football game.
No doubt about it. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff in Wichita Falls. Then the game of the week, folks, in the conference. It's actually going to be on ESPN. This game's going to be on ESPN 3, so you can watch it on TV. Hopefully you're not watching it because you're watching Tarleton and Kingsville. It's going to be on the Watch ESPN app. It's a 7 o'clock game, Coach, between number 16 Angelo State at 4-1 and number 15 and 4-1 Texas A&M Commerce in Commerce. And boy, it's hard to figure out who's a favorite in that one.
Yeah, I mean it's they're going to run the football, both of them. That's the big change is with Commerce is that they're so massive up front on the offensive line, and then they've got 2 great backs, and then when they lull you to sleep, and they got a 6'5" and a 6'4" receiver to throw it to outside, and I haven't seen Angelo on tape. I just know that the mass of Commerce's offensive line, and then they play 8 deep on the defensive line. That's if they can offset that, and Angelo can penetrate that front, they got a chance.
3 years ago, I don't know if it was ESPN that Tarleton played on. When you played North Alabama, you got a game on TV. How big is that for both of those programs?
That's huge. That's a huge deal. It's big in recruiting. You can bring that game and show it. Have it playing all over the facility when the recruits come in, and it's a really big deal. We used to play on the Fox Sports Southwest on the internet, and that was a huge perk for our league. And I really wish we could get that back. Really in all sports, basically, baseball game, volleyball games. If we can get something for the Lone Star Conference, get the Fox Sports Southwest, that's huge for every one of our institutions in the Lone Star Conference, and that's something that we really need to push and try to get there, because you can imagine what that means for, recruiting, publicity, and most of our kids in our league in all sports come from the state of Texas.
And it's ESPN. And
Yeah.
go back 3 years ago to that game in North Alabama. Was that the biggest win during your tenure here at Tarleton? I mean, you do it on national TV. Bobby Walls, North Alabama, had never lost to a Texas team, right?
It really kind of got us going, you know, and it jump started us. For us to be able to win the conference championship in 2013, you know, and that was, you know, that was a real big win for us, you know, and that I think after that win, at one point we'd won like 9 or 10 straight games, you know, winning it, you know, to end the year, then going into the 2013 year. So yeah, that really kind of got our kids believing that they could play with people.
Yeah, it definitely was a fun bus ride back from Florence, Alabama.
Yeah.
You win a game like that. So there's 4 games around the conference, the 4th one being Tarleton and Texas A&M Kingsville. We'll talk about that later in the show. That's going to do it for our Lone Star Conference and National Spotlight. We've got a couple of special guests coming up. When we return in 1 minute, we will start with head tennis coach Lance Drake, and then we will talk with cross-country student athlete Ty Doty when we return after this on the Tarleton Sports Network, presented by the North Texas Ford Dealers.
And welcome back to Legends Country Club and the Coach Cary Fowler radio show. I'm Kelton Weens, and I'm joined by Tarleton Texan tennis head coach Lance Drake in our first coach segment. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Let's. I've always been kind of curious. Do you follow professional tennis at all?
Well, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, I'm not gung ho into it, but yeah, I really like watching it and watch the players and their athletic ability, the new techniques and everything that are out there, and what level they play on is just amazing.
What do you think of Serena? She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and she's dominant, and if
Yes.
her mental game is right, and I don't think there's anybody out there on the women's side that can beat her.
I always find it interesting how the men's side is dominated by Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, and Andy Murray, and then the women's side's wide open after Serena.
Pretty much, and you know, the men is really, you know, it's amazing what those guys do. You play the game and realize what it takes to be at that level, and it is it's an amazing game, amazing thing that they can dominate in such a manner.
You ever played on a grass court?
You know, I did not actually. I would love to back then. My game was suited for a grass court, but you never get the opportunity to do that. I had it one time, but I decided to graduate and go overseas. So,
Well, let's talk some Texan tennis. A couple weekends ago, you go to San Antonio to the ITA South Central Regional, and a couple of great highlights. Louisa Das wins the consolation bracket. Talk about her play. She really brought it.
yeah, it was a great word. You know, it's the week didn't start off very good, or the weekend didn't, and so just to be able to overcome, you know, the accident that we were involved in, and to you know, so the first match she was pretty much just blank, and you know, to come back and play the way she did was really an outstanding job. And in that final match, she didn't play her best, but she hung in there and battled, and was able to make some adjustments and picked up a victory. I thought, you know, Louisa, I mean, she's a junior for us now, and has just, man, just really blossomed into a strong player. And like I say, we talk about that mental game with Serena, and if she's on her game and the style that she plays, which is fun to watch, and you know, so she's really come into her own. She's really got a good grasp of what she wants to do on the court, and so it's fun to watch her play.
Erica Richard goes 3 rounds deep in that championship bracket. Talk about her performance as well.
Yeah, and Erica did that without, I mean, you know, again, go back to the accident. From the accident, though, her neck was hurting all weekend. She went ahead and sucked it up and played, and you know, so she was basically didn't have her serve, and that's a big part of her game. And so she wasn't able to use that, but she able to use other parts of her game, and was playing quite well by the last match. And I played against a girl that she had never beaten previously, and we were in total control of that match, and it just happened to slip away from us. And once the momentum changed, we couldn't turn it. And so, I mean, she ended up losing that match. You know, if she wins that, who knows? Maybe she makes it to the semis or finals because she was playing at that level. But, you know, that one deal just happened. And so we chalked it up to a learning experience, and next time if that we're on the court with that person, we know how to handle it.
Erica, the reigning Lone Star Conference Freshman of the Year, she's really got a bright career ahead of her.
She does, and so, if we keep injury free, and a lot of places she is really good at seeing things, at learning, and so, she's fun to work with, very, very respectful, and she listens, just keeps in on what we want to do, and so we're making some adjustments this fall, and so we'll see how it goes, and should make her game better, and she's willing to do it. So.
Now, we've talked about Erica and Louisa, but you've really got a good core group of returners coming back for you. That's hopefully going to make your life a little easier.
Well, hopefully, yeah. We're sitting here with 4 returners, and that's a good thing for us. We're still young on playing experience, but Ellie Stevens from England, unfortunately got a concussion now. I was looking forward to watching her play in the ITA, but it was. She's come a long way. She's persevering, and that's what she's going to have to do. She struggled through some things, and hopefully as we keep going through this, if you want a lesson in perseverance, this is one we're going to look at. And she's doing well, and she's improving. Now we just got to see that on the court. Ashley Elwood from Australia, fun to watch on the court. A little bit inconsistent at the moment. We're working on that consistency. She knows that, but has all the speed in the world on the court. Can do a lot of things, and so I really like our group that we have to lead. And she's kind of taking on the leadership role. That's really good to see. Both her and Louisa really stepped to the top on that.
Finally, Coach, over the summer, the team was named an ITA All-Academic Team. That's a great honor and award. Talk about your emphasis in the classroom when it comes to this Texas tennis program.
Well, that's pretty much just something we put into the program. It's something that the girls take pride in, and we've had good success. We're fortunate to coach a sport, and I coach it in a way that, as far as being very responsible in what you're doing, keeping up with everything you're doing. So studies is a part of that. That's not easy for everyone. Some of them are, where it comes pretty easy, but other ones, it's a challenge for them. And I'm amazed all the time at some of them, especially the international ones that have to translate and transfer things. And I don't know how they do it. I was kidding the other day. I said, you've been here 3 years, and I think your English is getting worse. I'm starting to say things, and it's like...
She taught you anything in Portuguese?
No. She did teach me something the other day, something like yes or no, and I don't remember. So that tells you, my memory's fading, so don't hold that against me. But, it is something that we really do go after, and something we try to do every year. So it's a great honor for them, and again, we've been fortunate to do that a lot of years. And as a program, we just take pride in what we're doing.
Well, thanks very much for your time tonight, Coach, and good luck the rest of this year and into the spring.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back in 1 minute. On the other side of the break, I'll talk to Tarleton cross country senior Tommy Goode. This is the Coach Cary Fowler radio show on the Tarleton Sports Network, presented by the North Texas Sport Dealers. Again, welcome back to Legends Country Club in Stephenville. I'm Coach Williams for our second guest segment tonight. I'm joined by Tarleton State cross country senior Ty Doty. Welcome, Ty. Have you ever done a radio show like this before?
I haven't. It's been a while since I've been interviewed, actually, so I'm really rusty, but I'm going to give it a good shot.
Well, I imagine we'll do fine. Let's jump right into it. This weekend we went to the annual Chili Pepper Festival in Fayetteville, Arkansas. What a great name for a cross country meet, first of all. But you were the top runner for Tarleton State to meet, finishing 34th. Give us your thoughts on how that race went.
Actually, on paper, it looks like it went really well for us, but I feel like we have a lot more to give than was on that race. We had a couple guys, Chase Raffke and Thorne Petrie, they performed really well, but one of our guys actually didn't even get counted in the results because he lost his shoe, his timing chip on it. So he finished the race, Luke Scribner finished the last 2 miles without his right shoe, and he actually wasn't included in the results for us, so that was a downer, but we'll regroup and we'll continue on.
You ever finished a race without your shoe?
I can't say that I have, but he ran over some gravel and rough terrain. Nobody can question the toughness of that man right there. So.
Now, I'd say you're having a pretty good year. You've been the top runner for Tarleton in all of your meets this season. Give us your thoughts on how you've progressed as the years gone by.
It's been a long journey. I missed the past 2 years with redshirting and concussion-related symptoms. So it's good to be back and it's good to be performing at this level. Honestly, I could care less if I'm the top runner on the team. We have one goal, and that's to win a conference championship, the first Lone-Star Conference championship for Tarleton. And if I'm the 5th runner on the team, we accomplish that goal. That's fine with me.
Now, you mentioned redshirting and injury stuff for you in the past. Does that motivate you this year? Because you redshirted cross country last year, and you only had one meet in the indoor season last winter. Does that motivate you coming into this season?
Oh yeah, I was anxious to get the season started. It had almost been a year and a half since I actually got to race in a cross country race, so I was pretty amped up and pretty nervous with the first race. But once I got out there, it was just like an old habit. I got back into the groove of things, and I feel like I'm performing well right now.
Now, on October 26th, Tarleton hosts the Lone-Star Conference Championships right here in Stephenville. That's got to be exciting, running at home for your league meet senior year.
Oh yeah, we run every road in this town, any road that you can think of. So anytime some people come in here and they try and run a conference championship in Stephenville, we kind of take that a little bit to heart. So we want to defend. This is our home turf, and we want to defend it, and we think we have a good shot at it.
Now, cross country is not really a spectator kind of sport, but Coach Parker's talked about how he's trying to make the course spectator friendly. Are you going to try to do anything to show off?
Oh no, there's if you watch me run, there's nothing showboaty about it. I make running look as difficult as I possibly can. Now, if you watch one of our All-Americans, Dylan Willett, run, he makes it look good. He makes it look like, oh man, running's so much fun. But if you watch me, it's like I never want to run a step in my life.
Now, it's my understanding in high school you had to run against Chase Bradley, is that right?
Yes, we actually grew up 20 miles from each other. We were in the same high school district, and basically every year at state, it was district, regional, state. I had to beat Chase, Chase had to beat me, and I got lucky enough to beat him once at state champion. I won one-time state champion, but he got me 4 times, so he kind of had the advantage of state champion.
Now, you also played baseball when you were in high school.
Yes, sir, I did.
What position?
I was mainly a shortstop and a pitcher, but my senior year our catcher got hurt, so I ended up having to catch. If you look at me now, you understand why I was generally a typical catcher, but it worked out quite well for us.
The shortstop's kind of an interesting position that's changed over the years. In the past, it's always been the guy with like the chicken legs out there. Second, Derek Jeter kind of changed all that. Do you have a favorite player?
Right now, I really haven't been paying too close attention to it. I've been so focused on running and trying to win a conference championship that I haven't even watched on TV. We completely watch it. I'm constantly studying and looking to see what our competition's doing and everything.
But you know the Rangers.
Oh yeah, I saw the AL West championship. You cannot forget that one.
Now, finally, do you have any dirt on Coach Bonner that you'd like to share? I mean, nothing that might make you run an extra mile or two.
I think Coach Ponder is a great coach, and I respect everything he does. I support him anything that he has to say, and I hope he's listening right now. So
that was a very political answer. Well, thank you, Ty, for your time today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this, and on the other side of the break, Casey and Coach will rejoin the show, and they'll talk about this week's matchup against Texas A&M Kingsville. This is the Coach Cary Fowler radio show on the Tarleton Sports Network, presented by the North Texas Ford Dealers.
Casey Hogan here from Legends Country Club, rejoined by the head football coach at Tarleton State, Cary Fowler. Coach, I know football in Texas is a big deal and gets a lot of coverage, but you get folks like Ty Doty up here, and what an outstanding young man he is.
It's great people, they compete, and it's always great. I love to see those guys come out and show anybody, because they don't get the publicity that they deserve and that they need. And it's it's student athletes, no matter what sport you're playing. It's an unbelievable commitment, and it trains these young people for life. That's what I'm trying to teach my kids right now. You just play as hard as you can possibly play, and keep doing it. And finally, good things are going to happen to you. You're not going to stay down on the mat forever, and you're going to pop up. And it's like I tell them all the time. God didn't equip us with an eye in the back of our head or with rearview mirrors. we got to get up and bounce back and get ready for the next day.
Thanks again to Ty Doty for being here, of course, Lance Drake as well. And thanks to Kelton Weeds for doing those segments each week. Gives Coach and I a chance to kind of get out of the limelight, kind of regroup and refocus for a little while. So thanks to Kelton, thanks to Coach Drake and Ty for being here and all they do each week. Coach, let's get into previewing game number 5 in the 2015 regular season. You're going to travel south to Kingsville and take on Darren Wilkinson's Javelinas. They're off to a 1-4 start. Last year, some turmoil in Kingsville. They were 2-9. David Callaway was let go. In comes Colorado State Pueblo defensive coordinator Darren Wilkinson. What's Darren brought to this program?
You know, offensively, he's got a great offensive mind, and you know, he won a national championship. Automatically, that's credibility to the kids. You know, and I still felt like at the end of the day, I still felt like that Callaway needed to be able to see. You know, he was halfway through his second year, and you know, I don't know what was going on there, and you hate to see it because, you know, this game is a very touchy situation, and to be able to give them time to develop those kids, and they had good players, you know, and Darren's coming in, and you're starting to see some of those things now.
The Javelinas lost to Incarnate Word to start the year. Then they defeated Missouri S&T. That's been followed by 3 state losses to Commerce, West Texas, and Eastern New Mexico. We'll talk about that Eastern New Mexico game specifically, but other than that, what have you seen the first 5 games?
You know, defensively, they run an unusual scheme, you know, but it's really a scheme that they're trying to get the kids, you know, with some simplicity, with a new system. It's hard to put those things in, you know, that quick, and you know, that's you know, so it's a very, you know, it's 4 line, you know, they got 5 up, they got 3 up, you know, it's an unusual scheme, and you have to prepare for it. And then offensively, you know, they do a lot of things, and they keep you on your heels. They throw a lot of screens. Heck, last week against Eastern Mexico, they threw a lateral to the offensive tackle in an ineligible number, which is a legal play. Sprinted out, the offensive tackle sunk way back behind the quarterback, going back, he walked in the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, they've got a lot of different type of trick plays to keep you off back, and that's coming in trying to give his kids a chance offensively. Until you develop some of them, and they do a great job. They have a screen and play action off every pass, and you know what? You watch them. His kids play. You know, they play really, really hard. They're well coached. They play with a lot of passion. They're fun to watch on tape. You know, we talked about that even when we were breaking other teams down. That we were able to see them because they're playing so hard right now, and good things are going to happen to them because of effort.
On Saturday, the Javelinas faced Eastern New Mexico. We talked a little bit about the 2 weather delays they had in that 56-31 loss to Eastern New Mexico there in Blackwater draw. More specifically in that game, the Javelinas threw it for 349, ran it for just 77. That's just a factor of the kind of system that Darren runs.
Yeah, well, when he was at Pueblo, you know, they were heavy, you know, a run team and play actions. I mean, they can do a lot of different things. He's just marrying his talent that he has right now, and he's doing a good job because now they got some great receivers. Now their outside receiver number 1, you know, he only started 7 games. I think it was 7 games at Virginia Tech. You know, out of Atlanta, Georgia, played at Hutchinson Community College, and then they had number 6 outside, and they got tremendous speed. They're big and they're athletic. And they played at a high level at Division I level. So they got some great players, and you know, and they've been starting mostly the same. You know, D lineman. They got a D tackle that looks like Tony Tanu. I mean, he's a great player. Probably more athletic than Tony, and that's Coach Taylor watching him play and coaching Tony last year. You know, so they got some great players, and they've started the same lineup almost every week. So you know, I'm sure they're banged up like we all are, but that's a key to getting better towards the end of the year, is being able to keep that same starting lineup.
That wide receiver you're referencing is Anthony Autry. He's 3rd in the conference, 88 receiving yards per game, 6 foot 2 inches. Pretty big target for him.
Yeah, and it started as a freshman at Virginia Tech. I mean, at Georgia Tech. Yeah, so you know, he's a threat.
Coach, offensively, they're dead last in the conference, averaging 25 points per game. What's going to be the key defensively to try to keep them around the season?
You know, we just gotta, you know, just take it one play at a time. You know, you know, defensively we'll make a breakdown. We'll fit everything perfectly, and we'll fit the wrong gap. And you know, and that's youth. They're going through the same thing. So I guess it's whose youth fits right. We don't trick each other. I guess. I mean, you know. being able to, eliminate the big play, getting misaligned, and we got the number 2 down the seam again. The safety's got to get over the top and help. We've got to be able to prevent the big play, especially in the passing game, because they can expose you with those 2 outside receivers. And they got an athletic quarterback that can throw and run, and then if it breaks down and nothing's open, he's able to get yardage and move the chains with his feet. So, we've got to be able to maintain, keep him in the pocket, and prevent the big play. If we're gonna, we've got to. Well, I tell them all the time, we're an attack front defense, and right now some guys are attacking, some guys aren't. They're wanting to step and read, and when you don't always attack, you give up 63 points, and you got to be able to attack. And if we're able to do that, I think we'll be fine. We can keep the quarterback in the pocket and eliminate those big plays, and that's the key to us. But I've been working that for a couple of weeks now with these young guys going. But hopefully this week they'll be in practice tonight.
That new quarterback in Texas A&M Kingsville, you're referencing Miles Carr. He's a Division I transfer. Coach, he's averaging 253 yards per game, but he's thrown 7 interceptions to go along with 9 touchdown passes. So I haven't seen the film. I don't know if those mistakes by Carr have been getting pressured or just bad throws, but he does lead the league in interceptions.
A couple of them came, when you get behind, you're trying to come back and you press. Well, I think, I've watched every game. Man, I think there were about 4 of them that he threw late in the game trying to make something happen. One at the end of the half, and a couple more at the end of the game. So, but the early downs, and while they're still in the football game, he's been able to take care of the football.
They do have the number 1 passing defense in the Lone Star Conference. They're only allowing 129 passing yards per game. Are they as good as advertised, or is some of that who they play?
Well, it's a different scheme, a lot of people, because they do multiple fronts, and you don't know. It's really it's like they mirror it, and they adjust in different ways. And a lot of people, are trying to run at it because you don't know it's a blow protection to get your quarterback hit there. And like I said, they do have some good big linemen in there that pressure the quarterback in the pass.
Yeah, they do have some good defensive personnel, and I know it's only Monday. You probably haven't had a chance to break them all down, but they've got a defensive back, Devontae Williams, Coach. 6 pass deflections, 2 interceptions. He's out of Houston Travis High School. Looks to be a good player.
He's a good player. He's a really good player. Got a lot of range, can cover the whole field. And then in the big one is 99. He's the defensive tackle, and he punts.
He punts?
He punts.
The defensive line?
Yeah, he punts. So I tell you, it kind of but he just done punt cases. They got a guy that'll roll out to the right and kick to the right with him, and like a rugby kick. This big giant comes back there, and I was like, look at this punter. And then he rolls to his left like a soccer player, and just, he smokes it. He smoked 60 yards. I'm like,
well, that leads me to my next question. Let's talk special teams, because at least on paper, Coach, it's an area you've got a big advantage in. They're dead last in the nation in kick return defense. You've got a good kick return specialist. Their punting game only averaging 32 yards per contest. Should that be something you should take advantage of?
We should, but we got to take care of the football. The special teams guy, we fumbled one at Midwestern. We fumbled a punt. We fumbled a kickoff, and then we had 2 major errors in the kicking game last week on field of football. And I know the reasons of it. McCants is banged up there, but we still got to be able to field the football. And and Nardi's got to set his feet. So we got to field the football. I like our coverage team right now, because that was a great returner they had last week as a punt returner. He got out a couple times, but for the most part, we were able to hold him under his average there on the return. And Isaac can, if they're there, he can cross-field kick it. He can really put the ball anywhere that you want him to. If we're able to take care of the football and don't turn it over, the kicking game that's immediate pressure deep on the defense. And we can't put that. We're struggling enough in some areas to be putting us in those type of situations right now.
Coach, Seth Warner is just an important piece of this football team. He's one of the best quarterbacks, at least in my opinion, in the Lone Star Conference. How much does it hurt? What does it change your game plan if Zed can't go outside?
Yeah, it changes. We'll just have to marry what Alex can do, and just really narrow some plays down, limit some plays. Zed can get you in and out of plays all the time. He can check, he can see the formation, we still got to get the ball. We got to be able to run the football. We still got to be able to get the ball in Artie Myers' hands. That's a key, and be able to get him open. Hopefully some of these other guys can come on. Cooper Cole's playing at a high level. We got to keep trying to feed him the ball. We really, a guy that I'm really pulling for right now, and we're running into some of this, I'm battling, it's the self-confidence. They're playing so hard. We got to get our kids to be confident. But it's hard to be confident. You make some mistakes, and you're playing against good teams, and you can't make mistakes. We've got to work on our confidence. If we can get Casey Fornes to come on, Casey is a legit football player. But we've got to get him to have some self-confidence. If we can do that, Casey's a 4-4 kid. He can stretch the field perfectly. He can catch the shallow crosses. And I picked him up the other day in the car and said, "Get in, let's go right." Just trying to build these kids up and get them to believe in themselves. If we can just start to believe in themselves, I think everything will take care of itself. They're playing hard, not playing so smart sometimes, but effort overcomes that with belief.
You look at this matchup, Kingsville 1 win and 4 losses, your team at 0-4, saying that each of these teams are going to be desperate for their first conference win.
That's what I play this afternoon. Like I said, if we can go to it's just, it's not that, and I've been in this situation before, you got a young team, and then you get behind, and if we can somehow get a win, those things start to build. Coach Jones sitting there, he was with me on the sidelines, we went 1-5. And then we were able to get a win at Kingsville. And they were a top 25 team. Really, that was a staple win for us at that moment in 2011. And then we were able to win 5 in a row to go 6-5. So, it's confidence in the classroom, it's confidence in the weight room, it's confidence in the conditioning and film study. That a win has to help, and that helps all areas of these young men's life. And they're pressing right now. They're really trying to try too hard. And we got to calm them down. But a win would be big for us in all areas of these kids' lives.
Again, the next broadcast of Tarleton Texan football this Saturday as the Texans travel to Javelina Stadium to battle Texas A&M Kingsville. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the National Farm Line pregame show at 6:30 with the Coach Cary Fowler pregame interview. Starting lineups, Kelton Weeds will sit down with Kingsville head coach Darren Wilkinson and much more. I want to thank our entire live audience here at the Lookout Bar and Grill inside of Legends Country Club, and to say thank you. We've got 4 things to give away. I know we have 2 Texas Bank hats, and I believe we have 2 Tarleton football t-shirts as we do each week. So time to announce our winners. I got Rosa Hyburn. Rosa, are you here, Rosa? Where are you at, Rosa? Rosa's somewhere. Congratulations, Rosa. Justin Greenshaw, or Greenhaw. Can't read the handwriting. This guy's got worse handwriting than I do. Justin, congratulations. Morgan Watson will find you. Afton Varnado. I'm guessing they're probably related to the great Chase Varnado. So.
You got older brother TR helping us coach. He's an invaluable too. The Varnado family is great support. You guys have raised 2 great young men, and I appreciate them being part of our lives. They're a pleasure every day.
And again, earlier we talked about Chase and just the outstanding season that he's having for Tarleton State. So congratulations, Afton. Thanks for being here. And Jody Lee, our one and only. Is this 2 weeks in a row? I think you've rigged it. I think he's kind of rigged the coach, but hey, he deserves it for engineering this show. Anybody that can try to make you and I sound good deserves something. So I wish he could make us look good.
If he can do that, I'll put my helmet.
Thanks again to our entire live audience here at Legends Country Club. Again, we'll be back next Monday at 6 o'clock, hopefully to talk about the first Tarleton win of the season. We have some Tarleton athletic announcements. Texas A&M volleyball, 14-3 overall. They're 4-1 and in second place in the Lone Star Conference. Coach, they go down to St. Ed's, defeat them Friday night, go to Kingsville and win. Big weekend for them, and we're going to need you to pack the gym. They're going to return home on Friday for a huge matchup with 13-1 and 4-1 Cameron. So think about that matchup Friday night. 14-3 Tarleton, 13-1 Cameron, possibly playing for first place in the Lone Star Conference. That's Friday night at 6 o'clock in Wisdom Gym. You wear your purple sleeves and you'll be entered in the drawing for Texan Bucks and gift cards. And then on Saturday, 4-14 and 0-5 Midwestern State comes to Stephenville for a 2 o'clock matchup. The Saturday volleyball match is Pink Out Day. As Together We Fight Breast Cancer. There will be free pink t-shirts given out at the game while they last. First come, first serve. We hope to see you at the volleyball gym this Friday and Saturday. One thing's for sure, we won't be there because we'll be taking off pretty early on Friday.
You know, I wish there, you know, and I know that we don't have all the teams, but wouldn't it be nice if we had, you know, when you had a home football game, you could have a volleyball game to match that on Friday and Saturday, you know. I really wish we could get that, you know, we get a lot of support, and we can support, they can support.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I really wish we could.
I think it's set up to do that with the 2 o'clocks. They just had us, hey, you're all wrong.
Right.
We talked earlier with Ty Doty. Again, the Lone Star Conference Cross Country Championships will be here in Stephenville on Monday, October 26th at the Tejas Golf Course. 9:10 a.m. start. The awards ceremony at 11:30. Hope you can make it out and support Tarleton Cross Country. Texian Golf won first place in the Metro State Tournament last week. Texian Golf returns to action 1 week today on October 12th at the Dallas Baptist Classic from the Golf Club of Dallas. Basketball season, believe it or not, starts in 9 days as the NCAA will allow basketball teams to start practicing for Midnight Madness 2015. The doors will open up at 11:15 on Wednesday, October 14th, so make sure you get there early. Coach, you're from Kentucky and basketball shoes there, and this Tarleton Midnight Madness, you've been there and seen the doors open. It gets pretty wild there.
It's a great atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere. You know, you get Kentucky because they got 24,000 people in there, but you know, at our place, it's in Murray State where I went to school, and we did have a first-round draft pick last year, but it's a lot better at Tarleton than when it was
Really?
there. Yeah.
Well, we'll have a special broadcast of Midnight Madness. If you're listening and you're here and you don't want to go to Wisdom Gym because the door opens and there's like 3,000 college kids that literally run you over. If you don't want to deal with that, we will broadcast for Midnight Madness right here on 90.5 FM and the Tarleton Sports Network. We'll start at 11:45 with the radio broadcast. You can also listen to and watch the webcast, so you can actually watch it and listen at tarletonsports.com/listen live. I just got to hope that I don't get run over on the way to Radio Row by a freshman.
You get that early.
I get down there early, trust me. I'm 32 and I'm almost too old for Midnight Madness, so.
No, I don't think
It gets pretty wild, so I look forward to seeing everyone there. Men's basketball will open up against the University of Texas in Austin from the Irwin Center on Friday, November 6th at 5 o'clock. Again, the #1 ranked Tarleton Texans open up against the University of Texas 5 o'clock Friday, November 6th. You think Tarleton might be able to hang with those guys?
Yes.
With Shaka Smart, the new head coach?
I can promise you this, a lot of racing and I'm ready to play.
It should be a lot of fun. And I can promise you this, some Division IIs go into that game and I don't care what anyone says, they're getting the paychecks and they call off the dogs in the second half, and Lon Richmond won't do that. He'll try to win that thing.
Division II beat the University of Kentucky when Billy Gillespie was there, and now he's at Ranger College. So, you know, that can happen.
Sure does happen.
Shaka Smart don't want that, but you get ready for Coach Reisman.
Remember to visit tarletonsports.com to stay up to date on all Tarleton athletic programs, listen to the live radio broadcast, you can watch live webcasts of selected sports for no charge, and much more. That's tarletonsports.com. Once again, thanks to Texas Bank and Cross Timbers Orthopedics for sponsoring the Coach Cary Fowler radio show. Thanks to the staff here at the Lookout Bar and Grill for the hospitality, and I know the coach, they've been going around handing out sliders to people and food.
Did you get one?
And I didn't get a slider, no. I'm about to go pick up some wings and watch the game tonight, the Seahawks, and I don't even know if the Seahawks are playing. Anybody know?
No,
Lions. Oh, Dennis Jones is cheering for the Lions, so it's Detroit and Seattle. And,
the field house and have Kingsville playing.
yeah, you'll be going back to work. Thanks to the staff here at Legends Country Club. Thanks to our producer back in the studio, Aaron Young. Thanks to our engineer, the one and only celebrity here in Stephenville to my left, Mr. Jody Lee Cottle. And most importantly, thanks to each and every one of you for listening and for your support of Tarleton Athletics. Coach, time now for our final question. You've actually won 3 straight games at Javelina Stadium. All time, Tarleton's 4-10 at that historic facility. What makes it such a tough and special place?
I think when you drive in and you see that tailgate, I mean,
It's unbelievable.
But you know what? I'm telling you, I think Texan Alley is
It might be better now.
Yeah, I think
But they have that hog. If you've never been there, I remember saying it.
When it comes around that train, it smells too.
I was doing this show for the first time ever. Sam McElroy was the head coach, and they told me 2 days before you're hosting the show. So I'm nervous as it can be. And we're going to play Kingsville, and McElroy tells me, you know, they got a hog on the back of the train, and that hog, if it gets loose, it might get you.
Yeah,
and he wasn't lying.
He wasn't lying.
They still have it.
Yeah, we got that train back, that train. Those kids get us like it's no big deal.
McElroy was not a fan of that hog being down.
Like that or the Buffalo. We seen a man get hit by the Buffalo one night.
Well, I hope you beat Kingsville, and I hope that the hog doesn't get loose and terrorizing in the locker room by any means. Coach, appreciate your time. Good to see you.
I appreciate it.
That's the head coach of the Texans, Cary Fowler. That's going to do it for the 5th edition of the show. For the head football coach at Tarleton, I'm Casey Elving saying so long from Legends Country Club in Stephenville. Until next time, have a great week, everyone, and I'll talk to you Saturday night from Honolulu Stadium.